Hi, it's Carly McAvoy. I'm doing the third part of the final practice for the spring 23, and it may be I use the same test for other quarters too, but definitely not anything before spring 23. And so in this case, we're going to simplify rational expressions. To simplify, we factor as much as possible and we cancel what we can. Up here, I can see that I have a common factor of 5x, so I'm going to take out the 5x. And what that leaves behind is an x minus 6. Down here I have a common factor of x. I'm going to take that out, and that leaves x squared minus 36. This is a difference of squares, so I can go a little further. I'm going to do nothing with the top because it's still just 5x, x minus 6. But down below I have x and x minus 6 and x plus 6. Remember, x squared goes to x and 36 goes to 6 and 6, 1 plus and 1 minus. Then I can see that I have a common factor of x minus 6 I can cancel, and I have a common factor of x that I can cancel, which leaves 5 over x plus 6 as my final simplified answer. Number 19, I can't do anything with the top, but I might want to factor out a negative 1, because if I did take out a negative 1 out of that, I could change the 3 to be negative, and I could change the negative n to be positive. And I'm just going to rewrite it in that order because I see n's first and the other way, but this is the same, right? Because negative 1 times n is negative n, negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3, so you can always factor out a negative if you want to. Down below is just a factoring problem. Use the box if you need to. There's only one way to multiply to get 3, and that is 1 times 3, so there's not a lot of choices here when I look at that. I want 2 negatives, so I want more negatives and fewer positives, so I know it goes like that. And then I can see that the n minus 3's cancel, and I have negative 1 over n plus 1. I have a negative when I cancel opposites, so if you had something that looks like this, whoops, you had 3 minus n over n minus 3, you can't just cancel those. Those are opposites, and so that's what makes us have the negative 1. And if you factor out the negative 1 like I did, it's obvious. The only thing that's left is the n plus 1. It has to be on the bottom though, so we have to have a 1 on the top. Over here we have a difference of squares. That's going to be x plus 5 and x minus 5. And in the denominator we have a trinomial square, which means that we have the same number twice, because we have x and x for x squared, and 25 is 5 and 5. But we don't have 1 plus and 1 minus. We have both has to be positive 25, and I have to have a negative 10, so it's a negative negative. And again, use the box if you need to. That's going to look like negative 5x and negative 5x, which gives us that negative 10x. I see that I have a common factor of x minus 5, leaving x plus 5 over x minus 5. These cannot be simplified any further the way it is there. The other thing you have to do on your final is to multiply and divide. It's sort of similar to simplifying, but first you multiply it out and then you kind of fix it. So here I would just go ahead and change this to be 11x to the 8th y squared times, right, times 2y to the 5th over 7x to the 5th y to the 6th. Remember that when you divide you flip. And then you could do a couple things. You could start canceling left and right, but I'm just going to multiply across first. 11 times 2 is 22, x to the 8th, y to the 7th, because I have 2 plus 5. And down below I have 12 times 7, 84, x to the 7th, 2 plus 5 is 7, and y to the 6th. And so what I want to do is simplify that completely, and so I want to divide what I can out of the 22 and the 84, and I can see that 2 goes into both of those, and I think that's probably all I can do. So I'm going to get 11 on the top and 42 on the bottom. And then I can see my x's. I have more x's on top. By how many? By 1. So that's just going to be x. And did I leave something off? Y squared is 6 is y to the 7th and y to the 6th. This is, I had a different answer on my answer key before, but probably made a mistake somewhere. Y to the 6th and y to the 7th, yeah. So I have more y's on top by 1, and so I could have written that a little bit neater. This is what I have left. Okay, and the next one I want to factor all 4 parts. It's multiplication, so I'm not going to flip it. And I can see that this is going to be x plus 4 and minus 5. Again, maybe you don't see that, but 20 is 4 times 5, and we want more negative, so we're going to have a 5 there. And then over here, I just take out the common factor, leaving x plus 3, dividing both sides by 5. Down below, I can see that 3 times 4 would be 12, and 3 plus 4 would be 7, and everything is plus in there, so that makes it nice. 3 plus 4, 3 plus x plus 3, x plus 4. And then down here, we have x, and we have 15. 3 times 5 is 15, 3 plus 5 is 8, and it's both negative because we want positive 15. So we've gotten all that. Now we go through and see what we can cancel. We have x minus 5s that cancel. We have x plus 3s that cancel. We have x plus 4s that cancel. And so what I end up with on top is just the 5, and in the denominator just the x minus 3, and that's going to be our simplified form of that. Finally, in the last one, it's a division again, so when I want to make sure that I flip that second one, and I'm going to have times 3x plus 3 over x minus 2. I don't flip the first one though, but I am going to flip that second one. So on the top, what I have is x plus 4 and x minus 2, because 2 times 4 is 8. I want more positive, so that makes it a plus 4. And then down below, I'm going to have x plus 3 and x plus 1. And then I really need to factor this up here, which I didn't do. So let me just rewrite this. X plus 4 and x minus 2 and x plus 3 and x plus 1. And then over here, if I take out that common factor of 3, I get x plus 1 and x minus 2. Now I can go ahead and cancel what I have in common. I have x plus 1s. I have x minus 2s, and that leaves x plus 4 over x plus 3. Okay, you can see on this is the third part of the practice, so that was took me 3 chunks of about 10 minutes each to get through it, and this is 23 questions. Your final will have, I haven't written it, but I'm going to take these 23 questions and I'm going to choose some of these to go on the final, but not every single one. So be familiar with all of these and then be ready to do something, but probably more like 18 questions. I'll probably get rid of about 5 of them, but I would say 18 to 20 questions total on your actual final. And again, that final is proctored, so you need to sign up for that by going into Canvas, clicking on announcements, and picking a time. There's 3 different days with different times available. Plan on spending about 2 hours on the test, so make sure you don't come in 30 minutes before the test ends. The testing session, it shows when it begins and when it ends, so give yourself a chunk of time that you know is enough time for you to do this. Then you will go home, and the last week of class you will start working on chapter 10, and in the finals week you'll take the second half of the final, which covers the unit 10 material, and that second half is on the computer and it's taken at home. So the first half we do proctored, and the second half you'll do at home. So please email me if you have any questions about this, and have a fantastic day.